What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, hold on, let me adjust my camera real quick. Alright, today we are going to be ranking NFL teams based off of their potential for this upcoming season. Now, I might have to do this again after the draft happens, because a lot of things can shift depending on what happens in the draft. Some big trades could be made. They could get, you never know, maybe the team who gets Marvin Harrison or a new quarterback like Caleb Williams, they might move up on this list quite a bit. But this is just pre-draft. We're ranking them based on their potential this season. Now here's our different tiers. We have Super Bowl caliber. These are the Super Bowl favorites. We should have like 3 or 4, maybe 5 teams in that one. Those are the people. Those are the teams that people genuinely think have a team that are capable of winning the Super Bowl. Then we have playoff teams. These teams almost guaranteed. Well, no one's guaranteed to make the playoffs, obviously, but they consistently make the playoffs usually, and they have a good enough team to at least make a deep run into the playoffs. Then we have mid teams. These teams are middle of the pack. Maybe some of them will sneak into the playoffs. This is kind of like the bubble, like for college basketball. Like maybe they could sneak into it, but half of them will, half of them won't. And even if the ones that do make it in, we're not expecting them to do much in the playoffs. Then we have bad. These are the teams, no chance at the playoffs at all. They're gonna have a very rough year, and yeah, they're not very good. But then we have atrocious, the tier below bad. These are the teams absolutely terrible. They have a horrible team. We don't expect them to do anything this year. So those are our tiers, and let's get straight into it. And we got the Bengals coming up first. All right, we think about the Bengals. Last year, they had a solid regular season. They made the playoffs, and they made a bit of a run into the playoffs. But then they got taken out by the Chiefs again. Bengals. I think we put them playoff. I don't think they're quite Super Bowl caliber yet. I think they're building a team that could be Super Bowl caliber. I don't think they're quite there yet. But maybe in the next couple of years, they could make it into that. But for now, I think they could make a deep run in the playoffs. Now we have Patriots, and I'm in between bad and atrocious. I think they're going to be a little better than they were last year. That's my prediction, because they got rid of Mac Jones. Now they don't really have a QB unless I miss something in free agency. I'm going to go bad. So Patriots fans, I'm being gracious on you. A lot of people would have put you in atrocious. I think they're going to be a little better this year. Maybe get 5 or 6 wins. That's my prediction. All right, we got the Saints up next. I think they will do solid this year. I would put them in mid. They should be right on the bubble, I guess. All right, now we have the Steelers. All right, I'm a Steelers fan, so it's always hard to rank my team because everyone in the comments are always like, "You're a Steelers fan, of course you would put them in this category." But so I want to be as non-biased as I can here. We got some pieces this year that will help a lot. We got rid of Kenny Pickett. We got rid of Mason Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky. We got rid of QB1, QB2, and QB3 on our team. And we got 2 new quarterbacks, 2 starting quarterbacks. That's the big thing. Russell Wilson was starting on the Broncos last year, and Justin Fields was starting on the Bears last year. Now, obviously, Russell's getting a little old, so he'll probably only have 1 or 2 years left, at least as the starter. And then Justin Fields should take over. I think that's what Omar Khan's plan is going to be. That's our GM, if you didn't know. We got some great players this year. We got Patrick Queen in the secondary. Who else do we get? Trying to think here. The QBs are obviously, we got Quez Watkins from the Eagles. He's a solid, maybe QB2. I mean, wide receiver 2, maybe wide receiver 3. Yeah, probably wide receiver 3. We did get rid of Deontay Johnson, which hurt a little bit. But we still got George Pickens, Calvin Austin, some young guys that will definitely step up this year. I think I'm going to put them in playoff. I think we're very similar to the Bengals, in my opinion. We have a star wide receiver like Jamar Chase with George Pickens. And, yeah, I think I like that. Now we got the 49ers. I think they've got to be Super Bowl caliber. No question. Yeah, obviously they made the Super Bowl last year. And I think they have the best team on paper. They've had it for the last couple years, actually. But they just have not been able to come through in real life. Their talent-wise, though, I think they're the best team in the NFL. They have insane depth on defense, especially, and they have great players on offense as well. Now we have Cardinals, and I'm just putting them in atrocious. No question about that one. They had a disgusting year last year, and I think they're gonna have another one this year. Falcons, I put Falcons maybe ahead of the Patriots. Yeah, ahead of the Patriots, but still in bad. I don't think they're quite gonna be mid. Now we have the Ravens. I think we put them in playoff, or do we put them Super Bowl caliber? I don't want to be biased here. I guess we put them in playoff. And as you can see here, this is why the AFC North is so competitive, because the Browns might be put in somewhere in that area too. So this just shows you how competitive the AFC North is, and you really just never know who's going to come out on top of it. Bills. All right, Bills. They have one of the best teams. Well, they did. All right, listen up. Stephon Diggs, their wide receiver one, and one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. No question about that one. He got traded to the Texans for only like a second round pick too. The Bills got ripped off pretty bad there. And even with Stephon Diggs, they haven't been able to make the Super Bowl. Leave alone winning it, they haven't been able to make the Super Bowl. Every year, everyone was like, "Oh, Bills are gonna win it this year. This is their year," and then it just never happens. It never translates into real life. I'll put them at the top of playoff because now they've even lost Stephon Diggs. I just don't think they're Super Bowl caliber anymore. Panthers, they're going straight into atrocious. I think, well, they were the worst team in the NFL last year, very close with the Patriots. Um, I think they'll be one of the worst, at least bottom three this year as well. You would think, as they keep getting bottom three in the NFL every year, they would build up some talent from the draft picks they're getting, because they get top three draft picks almost every year. So you would think they would put together a nice little squad, but they have not been able to yet. Now we got the Bears. Bears lost Justin Fields, and they haven't really gotten a QB to replace him yet, which I'm a little confused about. They're probably waiting to the draft, try to pick up someone like Caleb Williams. Who else? That LSU QB, Jaden Daniels, uh, Drake May, someone like that. So I'm gonna put him in top of bad, I think. Or if they don't go QB route and they try to get someone, this might be a little risky, but maybe try to get someone in free agency, then they can get a wide receiver like Marvin Harrison, which would be huge for them because they don't really have much wide receiver depth either. So Bears, I'm gonna put them top of bad. I think they might have an okay year, but they've got some things to work out for sure. All right, Browns, I think, are the worst team in the AFC North, in my opinion, but not far behind. They're not like atrocious or anything. They are a good team. I'm gonna put them in mid. I think they will make the playoffs. Yes, I'm predicting all four AFC North teams to make the playoffs. That's how competitive this division is. And you just never know who's going to come out on top of it. So it's so hard to predict where to put all these. I think the Browns are a little bit below all of these teams, though. So I'm going to put them in mid. Next up, we have the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will do solid. I might put them in playoff. I think there's going to be a lot in playoff division here. Because, yeah, I think Cowboys deserve to be up there probably. Because I hate the Cowboys more than anything. So that's why I'm putting them behind the Steelers in it. But I do think they will have a solid year like they usually do. But they just can't do anything in the playoffs. But I do think they'll get the 2 or 3 seed for sure. Broncos, they're probably going to be mid. They lost Russell Wilson. Who do they have to replace him? Do they have Drew Lock? I'm pretty sure they do. I could be tripping on that one. I might be wrong there. But correct me if I am in the comments. All right, Broncos though, I think they're going to be on the bubble. I don't think they're quite going to make the playoffs. But yeah. All right, we got Lions here again. I don't think Lions are quite Super Bowl caliber. I know there's a lot of hype around the Lions, like there has been for the last couple of years, with them making the playoffs last year for the first time in a long time. But they weren't able to get their first playoff win in 60 years. I do think they will get a playoff win this year, though. That's my prediction. Lions, I think they could make a run in the playoffs for sure. Let's put them actually at the top here, just only behind the Bills. All right, we got the Titans now. Titans, I don't think they're going to be too great. Let's think. They got Tannehill. They've got Malik Willis. They've got some options at QB for sure. Some young guys, some good scramblers. I think they're going to be in bad as well. All right, we got the Packers now. I think they belong in mid for sure. Jordan Love has shown himself that he can be a starting QB in the NFL. I think he showed that last year. But I don't think they're quite at the level that they want to be right now. Especially, they lost Aaron Jones as well. So that hurt them a lot. but I think they'll have an okay year, maybe sneak into the playoffs. And next up, we've got the Texans. And okay, Texans had an incredible offseason. We need to talk about that. CJ Stroud, also last year, went crazy. Rookie of the year, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Offensive rookie of the year, I believe. Um, Amazing. That's insane. He put up crazy numbers as a rookie last year. He has a bright future ahead of him for sure. He could be one of the best QBs in the NFL. Give him maybe in the next 5 years or so. Um, so if you're watching this video 5 years from now, I predicted it. All right. Um, Texans, so top of the playoff spot. They're gonna have a great year with Stephon Diggs added to their roster because they did well without Stephon. Now bringing an automatic wide receiver one onto their team, one of the best wide receivers in the league, they could go crazy. Um, I think this team is on the verge of Super Bowl contending, but I don't think they're quite there yet. Now we got the Colts. Do they go atrocious or bad? This is tough. I'm gonna put them in atrocious. They don't have a great team. Let's just be honest. We got to keep moving though. This video is already 11 minutes long. Don't want to make it too much longer. You guys have stuff to do. Jaguars, atrocious, right? No, no, no. They're gonna be bad. I don't think they're quite as bad as they used to be a couple of years ago. Now we have the Chiefs, no question. These are the two Super Bowl teams, and I think we have to put the Chiefs ahead of them because they beat them in the Super Bowl. Neither of them had a crazy offseason, really. Chiefs lost. Who did the Chiefs lose? Chiefs. I can't remember right now. The free agency already was like 2 weeks ago. Already forget almost everything that happened. It's crazy. But we got the Rams. Aaron Donald retired. That hurts them pretty bad. I would put them top of bad though. I think they still have an okay team. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua, the insane rookie wide receiver last year, one of the best rookie wide receivers this past season. I think he'll do even better this year than he did last year with over 1,000 yards last year. I predict 1,500 yards from Puka this year. All right, I think he is a great player. Chargers now. I think we put them maybe the middle of mid. I think right there maybe. They have a good team. Justin Herbert. Honestly, he's a diamond in the rough. Like he is an incredible QB, but I don't know the team around him, the coaches. It's just not. They have Brandon Staley as their head coach, unless he got fired. Brandon Staley, though, it's not going to cut it. I think Justin Herbert needs to find a new team, man. He has so much potential. But, it is what it is. He's on the Chargers right now, and we'll see if maybe he can have a great year despite being on a terrible team. Now we got the Dolphins. I'm going to put him Super Bowl caliber. Call me crazy if you want in the comments. But I think they are Super Bowl caliber. Just think, we got Tyreek Hill. We've got a solid, maybe top 15 QB in what's his face? Tua Tagovailoa. You've got a top 15 QB in him, maybe even higher, maybe top 10. You could make an argument for that. He's an okay QB. He can definitely get the ball to Tyreek, and then you got wide receiver two, a great wide receiver two with Jalen Waddle. They've got a great defense overall. I think their team is right where they want it to be. I think they could definitely make the Super Bowl. I don't know about winning it, but I think they definitely could make the Super Bowl this year. Vikings now. Vikings didn't have a great year last year. I think they belong in bad. Yeah, I think right there's a good spot for them, actually. And then we got the Giants. I think they also belong in bad, maybe a little higher up than them. Maybe, yeah, they got to go in front of the Bears. Let's be for real. Now we got the Jets. I think the Jets will be solid. Aaron Rodgers, I think he needs to retire, honestly. He's getting a little washed. But Jets have a good team so far. They have a good team. They just haven't been able to put it together. Aaron Rodgers got hurt week 1 last year. That messed up their whole season. I'm sure Jets fans were so upset when that happened. But they have Dalvin Cook, I believe. They've got some other great pieces. They got Sauce Gardner, the best cornerback in the league, in my humble opinion. Yeah, they've got a decent team all the way around, but they just need to put it all together. And we'll see if they can do that this year, and I feel like they could maybe sneak into the playoffs. Now we got the Raiders. Raiders, I think. No, I can't put them in atrocious. The reason I can't put them in atrocious, or even bad, I forgot for a second, they have Devontae Adams. Maybe the second, you could make an argument for first wide receiver in the NFL. Yeah, Tyreek's obviously number one, but Davante Adams definitely a close second. Raiders purely off of um, purely off of Davante Adams, I would put in mid. Yeah, because maybe they can make the playoffs just with Davante in it. But they also have Max Crosby on the defense. You can't forget about that. But I think they're middle of the pack. No better than that for sure. Seahawks now. I think they've got a similar team to the Seahawks, honestly. Let's think. The Seahawks have Tyler Lockett, a good wide receiver. He is getting a little old though. They've got to think about maybe replacing him in the next couple of years. But for now, they have him. They have an okay QB with Geno Smith. But I don't know. Their team isn't amazing. It's middle of the pack. There's a lot of middle of the pack teams, and yeah. Buccaneers. I mean, they got Mike Evans. Who else they got? They got a good defense. Antoine Winfield, great safety, or corner. Sorry. I think they're mid as well. They're just not there. Oh, man. Okay, so next up we got the Eagles. Eagles. They had all the hype in the world last year. They went 10-1, maybe 11-1 last year, I believe, and then they lost and they went 6-1 to finish off the season. Not good from them, and then they lost round 1 in the playoffs. So, I mean, they kind of fell apart really quickly last year after having the best start, no question, out of any team in the NFL last year. The best start, and then they lost round 1 of the playoffs after losing 6 straight games. So purely off of that, they just showed to us that they can't really compete with a lot of these teams. But they did make the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They did lose it, but they still made it. So I think top of deep playoff run, I don't quite have enough trust in them to be a Super Bowl level team. But I think they are definitely very close. Now we got the Commanders to finish out, and they are going straight in atrocious. And that is going to be it for this video. I hope you all have a great day. Remember to keep God first, and peace out. Subscribe.